and welcome to BookTube with Amy. As you can see by the humongous pile of books beside me, today is going to be another book haul. So had a pretty crappy couple of months, life was kicking me arse, so I bought books and Simon bought me books and we went book shopping. Quite a bit to get through. So as always with me, most of these are second hand. Anything that wasn't second hand I will let you guys know. So to start off, we have Mothered by Zoe Stage. Now this is a horror novel about a mum and a daughter who have a bit of a crappy relationship but are forced to live together during the pandemic. I have been wanting to pick up a Zoe Stage book for ages. I've got another one on my wish list. I don't remember what it's called, but it is right down the very bottom. It's been there forever, but this is their newest release. This is indie published also. I love indie published horror. I feel like it is my favourite at the minute. Pretty much all of the horror that I tend to read these days are by indie authors because they're just fucking elite. But aye, this looks absolutely amazing. This was purchased new because we like to support indie authors, and Simon gifted me this one. Then I have Vera Wong's Unsolicited Advice for Murderers by Jessie Sutano. This looks like it's going to be a really quirky, funny, cosy mystery. Simon purchased me this one. This is also purchased new. I just think it looks like it's going to be a great time, and I have been really loving a cosy mystery this year, so I think this is going to be great. And then I have Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber. Simon also purchased me this one, and this one was also purchased new. This is like the companion series to the Caraval series. I am unsure how many are out at the minute, but I believe this is going to be a trilogy as well. I am so excited to pick this up because I ended up really loving Caraval, and it was one of my favourite series that I read a couple of years ago whenever I finished it at some point. So I'm excited to pick this one up because I believe that this one features around Jack, who was one of my favourite characters. And then we have Boy Like Me by Simon James Green. I have seen so many people raving about Simon James Green, specifically Katie over at The Introverted Reader, and I have never picked up a Simon James Green book before, but this one sounded like it was just going to be absolutely phenomenal and not to be missed. So this is about a novel about two boys falling in love, which was written like on the margins of another book in a library, and this guy finds it and starts to maybe realise that he might also be gay. So aye, this just sounds like it's going to be brilliant, and if I enjoy this then I might pick up Mary Simon James Green's work because I know he does get quite a bit of hype. I just have never gotten round to it yet, and Simon also purchased this for me new also. And then Simon also purchased me new Legendborn by Tracy Dion. This has been on our BookTube, it probably needs no introduction at this point. This was really hyped on BookTube when it was first out a good few years ago now, when I first came to BookTube, but typical me, late to the party as always, so I haven't gotten round to reading this yet, but it looks like it's going to be brilliant. Classic YA fantasy, different magics and tropes, etc. I think it's going to be great. And then we have A Certain Hunger by Chelsea G. Summers. Again, another one that's been on my wish list for a wee while. This is about a food critic who I believe becomes a cannibal, which sounds like something I need to read. I think that this is going to be another one of those literary fiction that crosses into the horror genre a wee bit, which is something I've been really enjoying over the past wee while. So hopefully this is going to be good. This was also purchased for me by Simon, and he purchased it new. Then I've got Fire and Blood by George R.R. Martin. This is the book that House of the Dragon was based on, and I haven't actually read this one yet. I only know stuff about House of the Dragon from the main series, so I'm excited to get this, and we got this in at a charity shop second hand. There's like a lot of artwork and illustrations in here as well, which is just really cool. Obviously the one I choose to show you, there's like some half naked lassie because it's George R.R. Martin, but I'm really excited to read this, and I'm definitely going to read this before the next series starts, like for sure. she says. And then I got Heart-Shaped Box by Joe Hill. I have Nosferatu on my shelf by Joe Hill and I haven't read it yet, but again I saw this in a charity shop and I needed to pick it up. It is a horror novel. It's about a guy who procures haunted or gruesome items, and I believe that somebody is selling a box that is supposed to be, will have a ghost attached, and he buys it. And I'm assuming all sorts of shenanigans will ensue, hopefully bloody gruesome shenanigans, but I am excited to get to this. Again, Joe Hill I see getting quite a lot of love on BookTube, but I am yet to try him out. That's me got 2 books by him now. I might need to try that author with Joe Hill and see how I get on. And then I got Smiler's Fair by Rebecca Levine. This again seems like a fantasy novel. It seems like it is a fantasy novel, and it's been on my wish list for a wee while. I genuinely don't even know who recommended this, but I know that I added it to my list after watching somebody's video. I think it is a duology, but it looked good, so the first one in a charity shop for £1, I picked it up. And then I got Seven Faceless Saints by M.K. Lobb, and this is the Fairy Loot edition. It has absolutely stunning sprayed edges, it is gorgeous, and it sounds absolutely brilliant. This sounds like quite a political fantasy, which is something I really, really love, so I'm excited to pick this up, although do I ever read my Fairy Loot books? No, that's not true. I do occasionally, but I'll need to read this one soon because it sounds brilliant. And then I got The Wolf Den by Elodie Harper. This is the first in a trilogy, I believe, and this is more like Greek fantasy feminist retellings, Greek mythology feminist retellings, which I have been really, really enjoying. I really loved Circe. I've got Song of Achilles to read, but I'm going to read that with the guys from the FOMO book club. I saw this in a charity shop. It is second hand. I thought I'll pick it up and give it a go. The woman who was working in the charity shop says that she is currently reading this and she is absolutely loving it, and she is going to purchase the next 2 because she's just enjoying it that much. Hopefully I have the same experience. And then I have The Girl of Thinking Stars by Kieran Millwood Hardgrave. I've never read a Kieran Millwood Hardgrave yet, but I know that they get so much hype. I believe they write middle grade like this is, but then I think they also write young adult and adult also. I've never picked anything up before, but this looked like it could be middle grade, quite up my street, quite magic heavy, something I would enjoy. This again was second hand. And then from a charity shop I picked up A Series of Unfortunate Events, The Reptile Room, and A Series of Unfortunate Events, The Bad Beginning. These are the first 2 books in the Lemony Snicket series. Now I have read these before and I did really, really enjoy them. They are such quick, fun wee reads, but I decided that I wanted to recollect them for my shelves in the hardback editions. When I read these before, I read them all on my Kindle, so that tells you how long ago it was that I read them, and I just thought that this will be a good series to collect because they are forever in charity shops and I'll just pick them up as I go. Then this next one's a wee bit of a stupid purchase, right, and I totally appreciate that, but I got The Iron Warrior by Julie Kagawa. Now this is the Iron Face series that gets so much love on BookTube, and I know like Fairy Loot have done like special editions of them now and they sell for an absolute fortune, but I have yet to read anything for this series. I've yet to read anything by Julie Kagawa. I've never picked up any of her other series or any of her other books, and this is like 7th in the series, but they did these new cover redesigns and they're quite difficult to get second hand, so I saw this in the charity shop and was like, well, I'm obviously going to pick that up. I appreciate it's book 7, but like if I didn't get this and then like I was to find book 1 I was to really like it, I would regret not getting this, and it's quite difficult to find these specific covers online for them all, so I just picked it up while I saw it. It was £1, don't judge me. And then another one I got second hand was The Spanish Love Deception by Elena Armas. This gets so much hype on BookTube. I am not a huge romance reader, but there have been some romances that I have really enjoyed through doing my Try That tropes, so that has been encouraging me to read outside my usual genres, so I decided I was going to give this one a go. I believe my sister has read this and really, really enjoyed it, and everybody else seems to really love it too, so I thought I would pick it up and I could give it a wee go. Then Simon also repurchased me all of the Dollinger series by Virginia Andrews, so this is like the Flowers in the Attic series. I just had a real hankering to reread them recently. I didn't know that they readapted these for like TV movies with like Heather Graham and stuff, and what's her face? She plays Sabrina. What's her name? Kiernan Shipka. So I didn't know that they had readapted them and done like TV film versions, and so I watched the first one and like it was hella cheesy and I ended up not watching the rest of them, but it did put me in the mood to reread these books. These are so gross and dark and twisty, so I just was like, oh, I need them in my life, and Simon bought me them because I'm spoiled. I also don't remember if I hold this in the channel, so I'm just going to mention it anyway, but I got Meet Cute Diary by Emery Lee. I really loved Cafe Con Lychee by the same author, and this is like a cute wee rom-com. I believe it is a message board of like trans meet cutes, and then somebody rumbles that the trans meet cutes are false and tries to cause a wee bit of drama, but then the person who runs the forum and the person who's causing the drama, I think, end up meeting up and falling in love. So this sounds like something I need to read. I then also got Charmcaster by Sebastian de Castile in hardback. This is notoriously difficult to get, and people drop a load and loads of money. Like, I've seen these going for like £200-300 before. I haven't read Spellslinger yet, but I got the first one and the second one in hardback, and I saw somebody was selling the third one for a really reasonable price, and so I was like, well, it'd be really stupid not to pick that up, because if I read the first two and I really enjoy them, I'm going to be spending £200 to get the third one, and I didn't really want to ever spend that on a book. So I just picked this up while somebody was being generous and selling it at a much cheaper price. So I have that there, and like, if I hate the series, I'll just sell this for £200 and I'll make a bunch of money on it and it'll be fine. So that's what it is. And then Simon also purchased me Valley of the Dolls by Jacqueline Suzanne. I have never read this, but Scott for Gunpowder Fiction and Plot read it. I don't know when, and I don't know what the video was for, but I know he read it at some point, and he made it sound brilliant, and so I added it to my wish list and I'm excited to read it. Then he also got me The Fall by Ryan Cahill. This is like a novella that is a companion to his Broken series, is it? Broken, I don't remember, but all his books are on my wish list. They are indie published fantasy, everybody raves about them, and I'm excited to get to them eventually. I can't read this one until I've read, I think, the first one in the series. I think this novella is like after the first one, but now that I have this, it'll encourage me to buy them. Thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you guys are enjoying everything that you're reading at the moment. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye!